What's up, everybody? On today's Unbiased Hard Take, I got a loaded episode for you guys today because we're going to start with Jimmy Butler being traded from the Miami Heat to the Golden State Warriors. In exchange, Miami will receive Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Dennis Schroeder, and a protected first-round pick. So we're going to start there. The protected first-round pick, that's good. Miami gets sort of a building block with that protected first-round pick for Golden State. And then Kyle Anderson, 15 minutes a game, 5.2 points a game, will be a role player. I will say this, two of these three players Miami is getting are not expiring contracts. Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson have contracts after this season, and Andrew Wiggins, will get into his in a minute. But Dennis Schroeder is actually the only expiring contract currently. So Dennis Schroeder also, mind you, I'm looking a little bit at what I have for him here. He's averaging around 14 points a game with Brooklyn and Golden State this year. So a role player at this point in his career. I'm not really expecting much more than that. Again, expiring contract, he is the only one. But Andrew Wiggins is really the big key here. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 here in a few weeks in late February. I don't remember his exact birthday, but late February is his month. So he'll be 30 here in a few months. So we'll go ahead and say a few weeks. So we'll say he's 30 years old. And he's averaging 17.6 points a game this year. Actually, all three of the players Miami are getting have a bad plus-minus if you're into that sort of statistic. If a lot of people are, a lot of people aren't. But he is an NBA champion. He is an all-star from 2022, that Golden State team. So, and again, 17.6 points a game. He's a younger player. He's 6 years younger, 5 years younger than Jimmy Butler is currently. So Miami gets a younger player to build off of, and I think kind of help them compete now in a season where they're kind of battling for that 6th spot, currently sitting in that 7th spot playing right now currently. So a lot can change in between now and then, especially with these moves now. With Tyler Hero has been an all-star, so I think we're officially in Miami now into the Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo era as number 2, and Andrew Wiggins is that 3. So Miami moving on out of the Jimmy Butler era, now into the Tyler Hero era, it appears. Bam Adebayo era as well. So I expect Miami to hopefully get this drama behind them, and Golden State now has a player that they can kind of compete with in the West now. And in the West now, of course, Luke has been traded to the LA Lakers, with currently also Anthony Davis going to the Mavericks. So you have a lot of trades out West. De'Aaron Fox went currently to the Spurs and is playing very good basketball right now, currently in the first game of there. So the Warriors, I feel like, kind of felt like you got to make a move. And they get older, and they're already an old team. So that's something to be monitored. Jimmy Butler has reported that he didn't necessarily want to go to Golden State and sign there long term. So we'll see what kind of ends up with that, if that was true or not. Things can change. Like I said, it's a right now league, especially with Jimmy Butler. He's a very emotional person, and I not want to bag on Jimmy Butler too much today because he is a Miami Heat legend. All the respect for Jimmy Butler, 2 finals appearances with the Miami Heat, multiple playoff appearances, multiple-time All-Star. He's a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, an Olympic gold medalist. So really not much more to be said than that. He's a Miami Heat legend, and it's kind of sad to see it kind of end this way, but we shouldn't really be surprised, and I should have seen it coming. I was blinded by that part, at least, because it's ended this way everywhere he's ever been, and it will end this way in Golden State if he stays there long term. So that's what I have on that. The NBA, Jimmy Butler era is over. He is now headed to Golden State, where there's been a lot of shifts out west. It's going to be an interesting time in the NBA, moving down the stretch here with the NFL on the peak of the horizon, fading out now. The NBA and college basketball is looking really good too. Will kind of brighten our days and in our sports world there. So speaking of the NFL, I'm going to go ahead and make the Super Bowl prediction. Yes, it's the time we've all been waiting for. And I don't have a lot of stats here for you guys. I really don't. We've seen, like I said, I'm still going to watch the Super Bowl. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. I don't think the NFL is rigged. However, I do think it's kind of funny how the Referee Association and the NFL have made comments about it and actually released a statement. It's almost like they were sort of butthurt by that statement, so that's kind of odd. But, I'm not really going to get too much into the statement because I don't believe the NFL is rigged. There's 32 owners. You're not going to be able to rig anything this big. Leaks would get out, obviously. The NFL is not rigged. You wouldn't be able to gamble on it, that sort of thing. So The Super Bowl, though, we can all admit, two things can be true. The NFL's not rigged. Both these teams they won their games, but it's just not entertaining. We've seen it before. We know what's going to happen. That's why I don't have a lot of stats for you guys today, because the Eagles, it'll be a close game. They might take a lead early in the game, maybe third quarter, fourth quarter, maybe have a lead. And then situationally, the Chiefs will just be better, and they might get a call. We'll see about that. We'll see. But situationally, the Chiefs are just the best football team. They're going to get. It just seems like it's destiny, and the football gods have deemed it so. It seems like so. I don't really think there's much to talk about. We know how it's going to end. Unless you're a Chiefs or an Eagles fan, this Super Bowl is just really not that interesting. I'm not complaining, I'm not whining about it, because they deserve to be there. I want to watch. I want to be there. It's going to be a good time. I want to have me some good food, some good friends around me, good family around me, good alcohol around me. You never know, that type of thing. It's going to be a great time. But it can all, two things can be true. We can be a grown up about it and admit that it's just not the most intriguing Super Bowl matchup. It's just not. And I'll get into that here in a little bit later about why we have this matchup. You guys will see. So I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game barely. I don't think it'll go to overtime. If I had to pick a score, I'm not a big score guy. I'm more of a pick the team guy. Score doesn't necessarily matter. It doesn't matter how you win. Just matters. That's the only stat that matters is that you win. So I'm going to take probably a defensive battle. I think here. I think this could be a defensive battle. Chiefs have one of the best defenses. They've won by defense a lot. So I'm going to take a lower scoring game than some people think. I think eventually, obviously, the greatness of Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, all that stuff will eventually score points. So I'm going to take Chiefs win 22, Eagles 22, Chiefs 24. I think that's what it'll end up being, a game-winning drive. Seen that before. That's what I'm saying. Two things can be true. We're going to have a good time on Super Bowl. We're still going to watch. It'll be fun. NFL's not rigged. That can be true. And this can also be true. It's not an intriguing matchup. We've seen it before. Go back and rewatch it on YouTube. You can see it for yourself. It's going to happen again. It's destiny. Football gods have deemed it so, it seems. So, with that, we're going to now get into what I think the NFL season award should be. This necessarily won't be who's currently nominated. People will say, oh, he's not even nominated for the award. This is what I truly think should be, and most of these guys are nominated anyway. But for MVP, I have Saquon Barkley, and here's why. The man had 2,005 rushing yards. Christ, he had 22 total yards total, 15 total touchdowns. Man almost averaged 6 yards a touch. That's insane. He almost broke OJ's record. That's just insane numbers. And to the fact that, okay, people are going to say it's the MVQ award. Barkley's probably not going to win. It's probably going to be one of these quarterbacks because it's an MVQ award. We've had that conversation before. Like last year, Lamar had no respect winning it, and he won it anyway. And Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson are going to win it this year, and they have no place. Great stats, cool. Still can't beat Pittsburgh, Lamar Jackson, and still can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. Josh Allen... still can't win the playoffs for Lamar Jackson. And Josh Allen, still great stats. Yay, made the playoffs, won the division. Still can't beat Mahomes. Daddy got you again, losing the playoffs. You can't watch the same thing we've been watching. And these two players that are going to possibly have this MVP award are the reason we have to sit here and watch Kansas City win another Super Bowl. Because of the greatness of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They're the MVP of the league, best player in the league, but yet... where's your Super Bowl appearance? Where's your Super Bowl ring if you're the best player? But you can't even get the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes is still your daddy. But you're telling me you're supposed to be the league MVP when Saquon Barkley's actually nominated for the award, has the stats to back it up, and has been the league's best player all year long, and is actually in the Super Bowl this year? But you're supposed to tell me one of these quarterbacks is supposed to win the MVP award. Get out of here. Get out of here. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen aren't even the second best quarterbacks in the league. That's a fact. Joe Burrow is better. Anyways, we don't have time for that conversation right now. Me and JB will cover that on a different day. However, we're going to move on to Offensive Player of the Year. Personally, I think Offensive Player of the Year should be Josh Allen. He's deserving of that. The man's a running threat, passing threat. All the stats are there. But again, can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs, so not really a lot I have to say about that currently about him. But he is deserving of that. He's a great regular season player. That's all I'll say. Can't win. I wouldn't take him in the playoffs. Give me Joe Burrow. Moving forward, we're going to do Defensive Player of the Year. This is where I have the rant. Xavier McKinney is Defensive Player of the Year for me. He's not even nominated for the award. That's why I said earlier, this is that big moment for me. 8 interceptions. Man was second in the NFL with interceptions this year behind Kirby Joseph. And both of them are safeties and weren't even nominated. That's abysmal to me. No love for the safety position, but Myles Garrett and TJ Watt are in there. I mean, TJ Watt deserves to, but Myles Garrett? Okay. I think Kirby Joseph and Xavier McKinney had much more impacts on winning football teams. Wins matter, especially when award times come. Difference makers on the field. And Xavier McKinney made plays from the first day in Green Bay. Had multiple interceptions from the beginning of the season and was playing great ball. Him and Kirby Joseph, both Pro Bowl players this year. How they're not nominated is abysmal to me. And I think Xavier McKinney should be Defensive Player of the Year. He's the best safety in the league and is definitely deserving of that contract Green Bay gave him. How he was not even nominated is an absolute shit show. That's my one curse word I'm always allowed. But nonetheless, Xavier McKinney is my Defensive Player of the Year. Then we're moving on to Comeback Player of the Year, and I'm moving on to Sam Darnold on this one. And mind you, Sam Darnold. I could go Joe Burrow here, DeMar Hamlin, or something like that, and I understand that take. I wouldn't be mad at those choices. They had good performances themselves. But think of this, Sam Darnold. With the Jets and the Panthers, that Sam Darnold. 14 wins Sam Darnold now. Crap, 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, Pro Bowler. 66.2% completion percentage, 4,319 passing yards, 102.5 QBR. Playoff quarterback Sam Darnold. Was 1 win away from having the number 1 seed. Wow. That's Comeback Player of the Year. What else does the man need to do? Good God. He's Comeback Player of the Year to me. That's mic drop right there. Then we're moving on to Defensive Rookie of the Year. And for Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm taking Jared Verse from the Rams. Again, playoff team that matters to me. 66 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. So, and have multiple stuffs. A couple pass defended. He's just a really, really young defensive player, and he's going to be a wrecking ball. And he really helped pick up from Aaron Donald retiring, and he didn't fill those shoes. You can never fill the shoes of a legend like that because he's no Aaron Donald, but he is Jared Verse. And he had an outstanding season and really picked up a lot of that slack. So he's absolutely deserving of Defensive Rookie of the Year. Then moving on to Offensive Rookie of the Year, and again, I mean, there was a time I kind of hinted on the podcast where Bo Nix could have been argued to be Rookie of the Year, and in most years he probably would be. But this is a way different year where a different rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who is my Rookie of the Year on offense. Wow. Just absolutely wow. Was 1 win from the Super Bowl as a rookie. He was in the NFC Championship game as a rookie. Dual threat player. Just the best rookie performance I've ever seen from a quarterback. I think that rivals and is absolutely even better than what Andrew Luck did. And he was the best rookie quarterback I had ever personally seen. But this even topped that. And to kind of move on and into the Commanders is Coach of the Year, and I'm taking Dan Quinn. The Commanders. Yes, the FedEx Field, sewage water on fans, Sean Taylor, Wire Trophy, Dan Snyder, mess, Commanders. Football team. Wow. To turn that team around like that and to make the playoffs, not only make the playoffs with a rookie quarterback, but to get a foot before the Super Bowl. Wow. He's absolutely Coach of the Year. Any other answer is wrong and just low football IQ. And I don't normally say that low football IQ word because it's really insulting to people. But, I mean, my God. Give me another name. Come on. You can't. You can't. And I believe we covered them all. And that is my picks for NFL honors. That's tomorrow night. That's my NFL honors and season awards this year for the NFL. And I want to take a moment to congratulate us because JB's making his prediction here soon. We predicted every game this season from week 1 to the playoffs. We even predicted the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. We didn't miss a single game this year. Wow, that is insane. That's really just a congratulatory moment. We just wrapped up our second NFL season on the Unbiased Hard Take. So, we got a great future coming with you guys. As always, Boiler up. Got a good win against Iowa last night. Let's go Heat. clinch that 6th seed. That Butler trash is gone. Not trash, he's not trash, but that Butler drama trash is gone. Time to move forward. And go, Pat, go, baby. See y'all next time.